Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live for the biggest game, I'll get them glasses on, for the biggest game of the Premier League weekend. It's Chelsea against Manchester City, but I'm getting some breaking news here. Oh my God, you're getting absolutely battered. How does it feel to be battered? You're getting absolutely battered. You boys, and I suppose girls could play as well. They can play, they actually can. You're taking one hell of a beating on Super 6. I've got to say, I've got not one, not two, but three perfect scores. Perfect scores, I tell you. I've got three perfect scores. I've got Brentford 2, Crystal Palace 1. It's finished, and I've done it. I also got 2-1 Aston Villa against West Ham yesterday, and I also got 2-0 Arsenal Wolves. You're up against an absolute genius of this game. An absolute genius of this game. Get involved. We're playing it every week. It's who tops the week. There is an overall league, but it's who's top of the league at the end of the week that wins the prizes. You can do that through Super 6. You've missed this week, of course. I didn't win the 2 million, but we have a weekly prize of £100 to give away for classic shirts, and you can be. But it's not about winning the voucher or the money. It's about winning against me, which many of you just can't do because I'm too bloody good. I mean, you've got to admit you are in the company of greatness here. Are you on for the 2 million? I don't know. I need to look at it. I do need to look at it. But links in the description for that, Super 6, and you can get involved in next week's game by signing up for free. It's a free-to-play game. 6 Premier League fixtures each week. You've got to do the score predictions for them, and you accumulate points. Well, you get 2 points if you get the result right. So if you said Brentford would win, but you said 1-0, you get 2 points. But if you said they'd win 2-1, you get 5 points. So I've done that 3 times this weekend, basically, because I'm brilliant. And I'm smug, because I didn't expect to be as good as I am, but I actually might just win something. But yeah, get involved with that, free to play, and the code for our league is That's6, so join in with that. I'll tell you who's top of that league in a moment. Big shout out to Super 6, loving playing that. But that was just an unprompted start, because actually what we want to talk about is this massive game, and it's Chelsea against Man City. So the starting lineups are in for both sides. Chelsea could be absolutely anything because they've got so many bloody players, but it is that. It's Sanchez, Cucurella, Colwill, Fofana and Gusto. Remember Fofana? Lavia, remember him? Casido and Enzo. So a very strong midfield on paper. And then Nkunku, Palmer and Jackson. I mean, that's a strong Chelsea side. That is a strong Chelsea side. Edison, Vardial, Diaz, Akanji, and looks like Lewis. Then Kovacic, De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva with Haaland, Sabinho, and Doku. We know that Rodri wasn't playing. Phil Foden's on the bench. And they don't have Alvarez anymore, do they? So, yeah. I mean, look, Man City, I think there's a vulnerability there today. I think there is a vulnerability to Manchester City that potentially Chelsea, when you compare the two teams, they really could go and get something today. I hope they do. I really hope they do, because I think it's great for the Premier League if that happens. But, you know, I've got Man City to win this 3-1. I predicted that ages ago. Yeah, I think we all think Man City will win. But I do and are saying that there does appear to me to be a bit of a vulnerability to Manchester City this year. They've not been that active in the transfer window, and they know that they've got these charges coming up. Are they playing it a little bit safe in case that goes a bit south? I don't know, but look, it's an interesting game. It's the first game of the season, and therefore, you know, you come into it with a little bit of hope that maybe things might be a little bit different, and maybe today Manchester City are a bit vulnerable. We know they can drop points at the start of the season, but losing their first game of the season at Chelsea would be massive. And I think many of us would hope that it happens, not just because you don't like Manchester City, but also because it makes the league more interesting if Man City don't just go off and win game after game after game. And I mean, they've got Ipswich at home next week, so they'll win that. So look, can Chelsea be a place that Man City drop points? And I think for the aspirations that Chelsea have this season, then I would say that they've got to be... Oh, my God. I'm in 6th place in my league on That's Football. I'm going to read it out in a minute. And I'm in 13th place in United Stand as well. Shamoni. Anyway, let's get some of your comments. Hi, Mark. Any goal scorer to put a fiver on, says AJ. I mean, it's boring. Cole Palmer, Erling Haaland, I would say both of them will score today, I reckon. I'll give you 2. Players with Angel Gomez, once a red, always a red, says Anthony Johnson. Lovely message there. I mean, I've not heard the update on Angel Gomez. If anyone's heard it, I haven't heard any update on that. Will says Nkunku to score. Good shout. 3QB 5BB is the FPL code. I'm not doing very well today. I do have Haaland, but I don't have him captain. What do you think the correct score will be today, says Harry? I've got Man City 3-1, but actually I did do that when I didn't know that Rodri was fit. Refs are so talented, finding ways to ruin new games, says Tanishk. Are you telling me something went wrong in the Brentford game because I didn't watch it? If you're telling me that, I'm live on this channel tomorrow. Don't miss it tomorrow, actually. Goldbridge Saves Football is out tomorrow, as always, our weekly podcast. But we are going to do it live tomorrow on this channel like we did on Friday. So it'll be like a Premier League review show at midday tomorrow. So bookmark that. Take your lunch early. Pop to the toilet. You know, mark it up. It's going to be a very different Premier League review show to what you get, what you see from everybody else. Because it's going to be done by me. And it's going to be done in the way that we like to do it, where we call out the shite. It's always been on the podcast, but now it's going to be on the YouTube as well. So get involved with that, everybody. You're very, very welcome. Let's have a look what people are saying. Eze free kick goal disallowed was a disgrace. I haven't seen that. I did see a lot of people saying Eze goal should have stood, but I haven't seen it yet. Just me who can't stand Bernardo Silva, says the Spurs way. No, he's a right little shit. Sorry to swear, but he's a right shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk about his height, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, he fouled Garnacho last week and said that he did it because he felt he was time wasting. Yeah, I mean, what a great example that is. Imagine if somebody like Casemiro said that, they'd be all over it, saying he's a thug. But yeah, very, very, yeah, very much in the anti-Bernardo Silva fan club. Fantastic player. I imagine if he plays for your club, you'd probably love him. But he's a bit of a shithouse, yeah. I need to watch this Eze goal then. I'll certainly. I have some notes for the podcast, and I don't know where I put them actually, but I'm sure we'll. He's just messaged me actually. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will end up with that. How can you have a piece of paper for the podcast and lose it? You absolute prat. Yeah, that's not it. Okay, I've lost that. Idiot. Idiot. Oh no, I put it here. Eze. I've got a few prats for the week, actually. Well, maybe we can talk about that a little bit later. Just, can we get a poll, says Wunner. Yeah, I'll do a poll for you now. What do you want it on? I know what you want. Result. Get involved. So, Chelsea win. Draw or City win. Man City win. There we go. Get involved in the poll. What is Mika Richards wearing? I don't know. It's like he's got some LAPD outfit, but it's shiny. And he's got the biggest back. I don't know what he's doing there. He needs to pull it down a little bit. What's going on, Mika? Normally wears good stuff. Anyway, right. Let's get back to that team news. Benches are quite interesting. Badashiel, Dewsbury Hall. Jorgensen, Neto on the bench for Chelsea, Madueke, Mudryk, all those players on the bench. Man City's bench probably not as strong as it could be. Aki, Foden, Grealish, McAtee, Nunez, O'Reilly, Ortega, Stones, Walker. Where's the striker for Man City this season if something happens for Erling Haaland? Look, I might be miles off here. I might be absolutely miles off. But I just sense that Manchester City have a little bit of an eye on the Chargers. They don't seem as vibrant and confident in their outward behaviour as I think they have done in previous seasons. I mean, they didn't win the Champions League last year. I would have thought if this is Pep's last year, you go for the lot. You go for this epic goodbye. And I just don't think the squad is as strong as last year. And I didn't think the squad last year was as strong as the year before. So is it about evolution, bringing through young players this season? Maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe Pep doesn't leave. But another draw for Notts County. That's 2 draws in 2. I might bin off Notts County, actually. On the podcast, basically what we do is, I'm interested in your opinion on this. On the podcast, we've had to pick a team to give a bit of focus to the EFL. So we've picked a team, me and Will, each from the Championship, League 1, League 2 and the National League. We're very happy with Solihull Moors because that's where we do the podcast in the National League. I'm very happy with Charlton because they sent me a top. So I'm going to stick with Charlton in League 1. Coventry in the Championship and Notts County in League 2. Got to say, I did pick them, but I'm open for transfer. So give me any suggestions. Like any suggestions. I just feel they've been a bit dull in their, appreciation. And Charlton were very, very good. Anyway, I would love it as an Arsenal fan if Chelsea wins, says Nelly. I'd love it as a football fan if Chelsea wins. Hi, Mark, because Man City are a juggernaut, and the more points they drop, the better it is for the league. Hi, Mark, can you shout out Tottenham Away on YouTube? I got your book, and it was a great read, says Mark Swift. Thanks, everyone who's buying the book. Absolutely incredible. Love that. It's doing really well if you're going on your holidays or anything like that. Football According to Mark Goldbridge. Get in. I have to say get in like that. It's part of the book promotion, but available on Amazon, and you can get it on Audible as well. Read by me as well. It's my voice. Took me 2 days to record that. Never done it before. It's quite an interesting experience. Lots of people going with the Man City win here at the moment. 43% to Chelsea, 35%, 23% going with the draw. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're on the road to 1.25 million. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Looking forward to this game very much so. Tactically, got to say, really difficult to say how the game's going to go. I could predict Arne Slot's Liverpool yesterday, and we did. You can predict Arteta's Arsenal. They were pretty much the same as last season. But Man City, obviously, will probe, pass between the lines. That's what they will do. Chelsea, I ain't got a bloody clue. And I don't really know if Chelsea fans know what they've got whether they've got a clue about how they're going to approach this game. Will they go defensive? Will they counter-attack? Will they try and press high up the pitch? Will they try and play possession? I don't know. It could be a lot of people very negative about Chelsea as well. A lot of Chelsea fans very negative about Chelsea. A lot of media outlets saying Chelsea won't get in the top 4. And yet, I look at that Chelsea lineup and I say, tell me ye, people of this chat community, how ye can say that that's not a good team. I mean, Lavia, Casido and Enzo as a midfield 3. And Kunku and Cole Palmer in the front 3. Jackson. Colwill, Fofana. I know they've had injury issues, but good players. Gusto was very good last year as well. I mean, Chelsea's problem is not the sum of their parts. Chelsea's problem is continuity, consistency and rhythm. Individuality, amazing amount of players. I mean, Raheem Sterling's not even on the bench. Maybe he's injured. I don't know. But they've got so many players. It's incredible. I mean, Tosin as well. I forgot they got Tosin on a free transfer. It's just incredible depth of talent. Can Maresca bring them together? But Ralph says Chelsea are a team of individuals. I would go MK Dons in league. Have recently got new owners. Have a good team. Just a rubbish manager. Says Spencer Parker. I nearly did go MK Dons in League 2, actually. I nearly did, Spencer. That's a good point. Are we going to see a Haaland Cucurella bust up, says Nathan C. Context, because I'm having a brain blank there. What's context there? What? I don't know. What context is that? Don't know. Anyway, I said at the start of the show, I would cover this. So very, very well done to everybody who's involved in our Super 6 League. It's not too late to get involved. First weekend, 6 Premier League scores you had to predict. Your score points from how many you get right, etc. We have got a £100 voucher up for grabs, and Chelsea Man City is the final game. It's too late to play this weekend, but you can enter for next weekend already. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. It's free to play, and our league code, it's an official Super 6 league, is That's 6. So get involved by doing that. 6 Premier League fixtures each week. You do your score predictions, and you could be... It's going to be tough, but you know what? If you've ever wanted to show that you've got football knowledge like me, you've got to get in this league. You've got to play it. Now, where we are at the moment is we've got about 2,500 people in the That's Football League. That's 6 is the code. Get involved. It's free to play. We have got a code we have got a prize, right? I've got to shout out Luke Cleve and Andre Yaru. Also, Archana Soda and Rishi Patel and Jack Ward. They're all on 20 points. We've only had 5 games, and that means they probably had 4 correct scores. Like, you can predict Brentford are going to beat Palace, but to predict they're going to win 2-1. You can predict that Villa's going to beat West Ham, but to predict they're going to win 2-1, you've got to be a bit of a genius. I did get both of those. I also got Arsenal 2-0, but I didn't get Newcastle to win 1-0. So I'm currently 13th out of 2,600 people. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with that because I'll tell you what, week 1, people get lucky. Scammers, chancers, complete luck. I'm in 13th place on pure quality and ability. So next week when I do it again, and the weekend after when I do it again, I will just keep climbing up that league and I will be there. But well done to everyone who's involved in that, and you will get your shout out every week. There is still opportunities. We have a monthly manager and a season manager and a weekly manager who wins. So get involved in it. Super 6. Links in the description. Scan the QR code. A lot of fun with that, but Luke Cleve is top at the moment, but there is still this game to come. The final game of the Super 6 this weekend is Man City against Chelsea. Get involved, lots of fun. City without Rodri is a whole different squad, says Mr. Alpaca. Yes, the vulnerability of Manchester City without... Combo says it's luck. It's not luck. Absolutely not luck. If it was luck, you'd look at Brentford Palace and you'd go, I don't know, 1-0. If it was luck, you'd look at Arsenal Wolves and go, 1-0 to Wolves? Can't be luck. Can't be luck. There's got to be logic. Because you've got to know, I actually think Brentford at home are good. Opening day will beat Palace. But I think it'll be close. 2-1. It's not luck. There's an element of luck, but you know, nobody can predict scores definitively all the time. But you can't look at Everton, Brighton, and go Everton are going to win 4-0. That's not that would be luck. You know, there's got to be logic to it. Got to be logic to it. Anyway, let's get on with it. Rodri without Manchester City is absolutely massive. We've known about this for a while, of course. Statistically, historically, they struggle without him, and hopefully they're going to struggle without him again. But if you are Chelsea, you're at home as well. I think home advantage, crowd advantage. Chelsea have got to get something out of this game. Chelsea got to get something out of this game, haven't they? They've got to. Got to. Have you seen the new goal animation, says Hyans? Don't know what that is. It's Rezi says, so I obviously haven't. It's Rezi says, I saw a City fan yesterday while driving. Almost got my life. And League and Oblige says, how is it considered cheating when we've spent around revenue? But that's not jeopardising sporting merit. The red cartel is finito, says League and Obliged. What team are you support? What team? I don't know what team you support here. So how is it considered cheating when we've spent around the same as you in revenue? I think you might be a Man City fan, right? It's cheating, mate, because you don't have the same revenue as Man United, and you never did, but now you do. You spent what you couldn't afford. That's basically what you are accused of cheating for. Newcastle are the richest club in the world. They can't go and buy Mbappe even though they can afford it because there are rules. So that's what you're being accused of. Any beers with the game today, Mark, says Jack? No, I probably won't. I've had a few the last few days. I'll probably stay off it today. I don't understand why Chelsea were so willing to get rid of Maatsen, says the HPN. Is he homegrown? That's the only thing I can think of. Robert McCormack's in the chat. Sterling Camp going mad. He's been left out of the squad, says Robert McCormack. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. A time to be born, a time to be dropped. He's lost. He's lost, they don't want to use him. Chelsea, whether you like it or not, Robert, look at Conor Gallagher. He's still at the club, not even on the bench. They are ruthless. Absolutely ruthless. And they just don't care about player opinion. They want to force people out. They want to get them out of the club. And that's clearly what they're looking to do with Raheem Sterling. They want to get rid of people. Michael, thanks for all these super chats that are coming in early doors, by the way. Michael says, great Premier League opening weekend. As a United fan, I would love it if Chelsea beats Man City. I've pre-ordered your book and I can't wait to read it. Michael, you are a legend of the chat. In fact, I would say you are the biggest legend of the chat because you've ordered the book. What a legend. Let's have a look what else we've got in here. I would have done that from Spencer as well. Yeah, I've gone 3-1. I've gone 3-1 today. Brentford beat Crystal Palace 2-1 earlier. I mean, I've heard some shit. People send me stuff, right? And I've heard some right crap over the last week or so in relation to Premier League predictions. I mean, I do my Premier League predictions when I've been down the pub, and they've still got more logic than some of these so-called experts sober. I mean, I've seen people saying Crystal Palace are going to get top 6. What did I tell you? I said Crystal Palace finished the season really well, but a lot of teams are on the beach at the end of the season. I wouldn't have jumped on Palace at all to be in the top 6 this season, or even in the top half. I think that Elise is a massive loss for them. Guehi's about to leave, and the league is very, very competitive. And then first game of the season, they lose to Brentford, which just shows you. I went Brentford 2-1. I don't know whether you know that, Super 6. I went Brentford 2-1 on logic. I knew they wouldn't beat them 3-0, but I thought home game, first game of the season, people will write Brentford off. They'll hype up Crystal Palace. What happens? Brentford get the result. It's a very competitive league. And I've also heard people putting Wolves in a relegation battle. Will, on the podcast. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. That level of knowledge. I've also heard people putting Brighton in the bottom half of the table as well. I mean, it's just incredible the lack of knowledge some people have. Like, there ain't no way Wolves are going to be in a relegation battle. There ain't no way Crystal Palace are getting in the top 6. And there ain't no way Brighton are going to be in the bottom half. Learn football. And then you might be good at the Super 6. No, I'm taking the piss out of that. But no, like, some opinions are terrible. Do the Cucurella chant, please, says Bitcoin. I don't know it. When is the book competition winners announced, says World Padlock? They were in contact with me this week about dates to do the prizes, actually. So if they've not announced it already, they will be doing it very soon. Bruvs says, do you think Man City are winning the Champions League? Not in their current shape. I don't think Man City are as strong as they were last season without Alvarez. And so unless they're going to make some signings in the next 2 weeks, I don't think Man City look... I'd still put them down as winning the league, but I don't think they look as strong as they have done in the previous years. Come on, Chelsea, don't make me sad, says Rub. Big Chelsea fan, Rub. Watches the United stand as well, but he's a massive Chelsea fan. Will a non-possession based side win the Premier League again, says Liquid Gaming. Well, every successful team's a possession-based side. Like, you've got to have possession to create chances. I mean, I think the last side to win the Premier League that wasn't really about dominating possession was probably Leicester. They were very, very good at counter-attacking, of course, but every other team in Premier League history has been possession-based. What a masterpiece. You must fear the Emirates, says Zayn Miasi. Okay. Players are in the tunnel, ready to go. 45% of you now got Man City winning. Chelsea 34%. You know what? I get it. I feel Chelsea have to do something. But what do I talk about a lot? Continuity. Pochettino sacked. Maresca comes in. It's another reset. Continuity. Manchester City, all right, they might be a little bit weaker, but they've still got the knowledge of what they're doing, and they know what they're doing. And that, it doesn't matter whether you've got all the gear if you haven't got an idea. And that's always the thing that gets levelled against Chelsea. Squids puts it perfectly. He says, common sense says City, but I want Chelsea to win. I agree with you on that one. Jonathan says, what players have you got in your fantasy Premier League? Effectively, I had De Ligt, who didn't play. Barco for Brighton, who didn't play. Wan-Bissaka for West Ham, who didn't play. Pickford in goal. It gets better. I had Jota, who did quite well, but then I had Gordon, who did nothing. I had Rashford and Garnacho, who basically should have had a goal and assist and didn't. Isak was my captain, and then I've got Solanke and Haaland left. So I think even if Haaland and Solanke score hat-tricks, I'm still going to have a shit week. So it's a bad start, but I just like to give everyone a head start, really. I did it on purpose. That's my excuse. No, I thought I'd have a good week, but there's a long way to go. Long way to go. We can do it. You can do it. Put your back into it, I say. Right, players. Maresca. What is Maresca ball? Fair point. What is Maresca ball? I was speaking about this at the end of last season, and I think that it's it's interesting how people talk about Maresca. Leicester fans weren't actually as complimentary as you might think about him. So, yeah, I think it's an interesting one to assess, and I suppose we'll see what it's all about now. Yeah. Right. I've just lost my live chat. There we go. Thank you. 14,000 people watching. You're absolute legends. We're ready to go. I mean, look, we had a great day yesterday, didn't we? Lots of watch-alongs yesterday. I think the great thing I try and do, because we're doing Spurs against Leicester tomorrow, I try and watch every team as quickly as I can to get a grasp. But even then, I hate the Chelsea kit, by the way. I absolutely hate that kit. It's vile. I've tried to be quiet. We've even replicated it with our emojis, but I hate that Chelsea kit. It's horrible. I've got to say it. It's horrible. Cameron Smith says, how is Enzo Fernandez Chelsea captain after what happened? Cameron, I'm not saying he should be kicked out of the game. Cavani got a 3-match ban for an Instagram post. Nothing from the Premier League. Absolutely nothing. I'm not here to fall out with Chelsea fans. I'm not here to see Enzo Fernandez get kicked out of the game or anything stupid like that. But Cavani got a 3-match ban for an Instagram post, which was nowhere near as bad as what Enzo Fernandez was singing. Captaining Chelsea on the open day. It is. Look, nobody can argue with that. That's complete and utter facts. We get clipped up, we get retweeted, we get agreement about stuff, but that is an absolutely spot on from Cameron. I can't say anything other than the Premier League's a bloody joke again. Cavani got a 3-match ban. Enzo Fernandez playing the first game. It's not fair. And you know what? Everyone's taking the knee now. They're all about to take the bloody knee. Premier League's a joke. Absolute joke. As for the captaincy, well, that's on Chelsea, isn't it? I don't know what that's all about. But thank you, Cameron, because I'd have completely missed that. I wasn't even thinking about it. Check Ezzy's disallowed free kick. Awful ref call, says Rexy. Well, we'll definitely be talking about it on the midday show tomorrow. Our new Premier League review show live tomorrow, midday on this channel from the Goldbridge Arms. Drinking on a Monday lunchtime, eh? I am doing a Tottenham watch-along tomorrow, Dale. Jarbar Drinks says, good day, Mark. Ahmad will score more goals than Rashford this season. Where's the lie? I don't think he'll start more games than Rashford, so that's the lie. How is Enzo captain? We've done that. For your attention, Pep said in interview his target this season is another Champions League win since he conquered the Premier League. Anyways, milk before or after tea is poured after. What about a low block side winning the Premier League, says Liquid Gaming. Going to be a close call today. Love you, Goldie, says Jonathan. Going to be a close call today. Love you, Goldie, says Jonathan. Thank you very much, mate. I'm going to stand up in a minute, but I'll just sit down on my chair for a little bit longer. So we're a couple of minutes in here. Hopefully Chelsea can get things going. I've put a tweet out about what I think about the Premier League and the Enzo Fernandez stuff, by the way, because too many people on these sort of things sit back and, you know, think it but don't say it. It's a disgrace. You've got every Premier League club taking the knee, and then you've got the Premier League doing sod all about Enzo Fernandez singing a song about stuff that they're apparently trying to stamp out of the game. As I said, I'm not anti-Chelsea and I'm not anti-Enzo Fernandez, but don't preach to people about stuff that you don't actually want to do anything about. And also, there is a precedent here. Cavani got a 3-match ban for an Instagram post. So Are we what we're saying now is we're actually more lenient on those things than we were a few years ago. So, you know, this is my problem. This is my problem. On a more serious note, this is my problem. But on a more footballing note, look at the Eze disallowed goal. Look at the red card yesterday. Look at the penalty against Villa. They preach a good game and they teach a bad one. And you won't get anybody in the mainstream. You know, you've got Daniel Sturridge, Mika Richards, and Jamie Redknapp sat in the Sky studio. They might think it, but they won't say it because Sky won't want them to say it. And it's bullshit. Johnny M says the world's gone soft. It's not about the world going soft, Johnny. It's about mixed messages. You might think that that song's absolutely fine. That's up to you. I can't tell you what to think. What I'm telling you is, though, the Premier League on one hand is preaching, you know, stamping this sort of behaviour out, and then does nothing, but then a few years ago does. I'm not, as I say, this is not anti-Chelsea. This is not anti-Enzo Fernandez. Like, I like Enzo Fernandez. I think he's a good player, but mixed messages. I want Chelsea to win. I want Enzo Fernandez to score a hat-trick. So it's not about Chelsea. It's not about Enzo Fernandez. It's about the hypocrisy in football that just... Inconsistency. Anyway, going to be a close call, says Jonathan. What about a low block side, says Liquid Gaming. Decent cross into the box there from Doku, who is playing on the right, by the way. What result would I like? Chelsea, because they'll drop points anyway. Nice ball into Nkunku. Game is quite stretched here. Reminds me a bit of the Villa West Ham game. Good tackle there. Amazing how long Lavia was out for last season as well, wasn't it? Jackie Boy says it wasn't just Enzo, it was the whole Argentinian national team. Oh, so that sort of behaviour's fine now as long as there's a few of you singing it. Grow up, mate. Come on. They should all be punished, Lissandro and Messi included, if they sung it, in my opinion. Mate, you can't say that. So Enzo is diluted in what he did because there was other people on the bus who may or may not be singing. So effectively, you are... you can't do that. Like, Enzo did it, and you've got no idea whether Messi or Martinez did it. I tell you what, it's a good job I stream on 2 different things, because this one with the live chat is just completely set. I don't know whether you've ever had this. You've got to be on Windows, right? It's happened to me a couple of times before. Literally, it's very bad when you're streaming. Windows basically said, ran into a problem, we're shutting it down and restarting, which is a shit. It was really, really shit when you're streaming, but luckily it's not on the one that I'm streaming from. So I've just lost my live chat for the moment, but I wonder if it's because it's a bit hot. I don't know. Bloody hell, it's boiling. Which is interesting because I've got the fan on. Sounds like it's taking off. That's probably what it is. Anyway, very, very big, wide open spaces here on the pitch. Let's have a look at that. 72 degrees. 77 degrees. No wonder it's shut down. What the hell's going on? Sounds like it's downloading a Big Mac. CPU, 18%. What's going on here? That temperature ain't good. Right, I'm just going to run this, get the live chat back, and we'll have a look at some options, because people are probably going, something great's happening in the chat. 18,000 watching. We're back. Here we go. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Thanks for all your super chats as well. Really appreciate it. I'm going to close the poll. 47% said Man City win. 32% say Chelsea win. And 21% going with a draw. Well done. I was talking about this the other day with someone was saying get a Mac. And I was like, I've always been on Windows, so... Any word on Chelsea making him captain, says Quants. I think we've had a few words, mate. And a tweet. Here we go. Man City are in. Bernardo Silva, and he wins a corner there. Chelsea, Man City are looking the more threatening side here. Keep up the good work, says Vicky Scott. Thanks, Vicky. In a good mood today. Hope everyone else is. Sunday can be toxic, but it's not. I find Sundays toxic. I call Sunday Toxic Sunday because I don't know whether anyone else has this, but on a Sunday, I used to be like this. I still am. People... can be the worst day of the week. I used to hate it as a kid. Songs of Praise, Last of the Summer Wine, School Tomorrow. Hated Sunday. And I think as you get older, a lot of people are hungover. That can impact your mood. A lot of people have got work tomorrow and they're not happy. So Sunday can be a very toxic place on social media. But I'm actually in a very good mood today. Premier League is back. Lovely stuff. Okay, that's done. It's calmed down a bit now. Temperature's gone down to 63. I think that's why it shut down. I'm gonna let it just settle down a bit here. Here we go. Chelsea are in. Palmer's miles offside. What's Palmer doing there? He's got a drop. It'd have been miles offside. Anyway, it's a corner. It's a corner for Chelsea. That's probably the best they could have got, because if Gusto had found Palmer, he would have been offside. So corner there. Of course, Chelsea. We're taking this a bit quickly. Not a great cross, and to be fair, Colwell gets on the end of it. Remember that there is no Kyle Walker for Man City. He's on the bench, so they're actually using Rico Lewis at right back today. Vardiel left back, Akanji and Diaz, Kovacic and De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva as a midfield three because there is no Rodri at all, and then Doku and Savio, I call him, and Haaland. They do not have, they have Walker and Stones on the bench, Foden on the bench, all England players, of course. But this is something that doesn't get spoken about enough as well. Like, you look at Man United, Mainu starts. You look at Arsenal, Saka starts. Man City, this is what we mean about a juggernaut. Pep Guardiola can go in the opening game of the season against Chelsea and give John Stones, Rodri and Foden and Kyle Walker, all who played in the final, a game off. 4 first-team players who all played in the Euros final, all basically given the game off. That's the depth that Man City have. No other club can afford to do that. And they're not at home to Ipswich. They're playing Chelsea away, and he's giving 4 players a little bit more time off. And that's why Man City are so strong. Because Pep Guardiola has got such a good collection of players that he can give them time off. So that they're sharper later in the season. You won't get that on Match of the Day, mate. It's true though, isn't it? You know, it's all right talking about squad depth, but how does that squad depth actually give City an advantage over everybody else? Well, if Man United are away to Chelsea or Arsenal are away to Chelsea, you're not dropping you're not resting 4 first teamers, are you? You're not. You've got to play them because it's a big game. Hi Mark, laptops with GPUs are prone to overheating. Getting a desktop with a proper GPU and CPU setup for streaming or gaming is a better option. Liam, I have got I stream off a one of them big tower things, but I have a laptop for like tweeting and live chat. So you're very right, Liam. Mark, why are you sitting today and who's your favourite kit? Says Denise. I will be standing up in a minute, Denise. I'm just being a bit lazy at the moment. Favourite kit this season? I really do like the Man United 3rd kit, actually. But if you want to throw in some others in there. Ben Eltham says, Sunday nights in the 90s, Crumpets, Bullseye and London's Burning. Classics, Ben. Classics. Start, bench, sell. Sunday night Crumpet. Not that sort. And London's Burning and Bullseye. I'm sure the A-Team used to be on a Sunday night as well. Thoughts on Birmingham City's project, says Goldio. Will they ever get back in the Premier League? Also, Liverpool look dangerous, but I'm hoping Slot turns bad, says Goldio. It's all Man City at the moment. This Chelsea project ain't looking good here at the moment. They really need to... What's the plan, Chelsea? What's the style of play, Chelsea? Early days. Hopefully they can get a bit of... maybe they're a bit nervous. Lots of players. Lots of good players. God, have you seen this? What are your thoughts on this? I've got to bring this into the show. So Raheem Sterling has released a statement. Why has no one told me about this? Robert McCormack said they weren't happy, but Raheem Sterling has released a statement. Hold on a minute. Nicholas Jackson. What's his latest release? Cool. Offside. Raheem Sterling is contracted to Chelsea Football Club for the next 3 years. He returned to England 2 weeks early to conduct individual training and has had a positive pre-season under the new coach, who has developed a good working relationship with. He is committed as ever to delivering at the highest level for Chelsea and the fans, who he holds in high regard. And given his inclusion in official club pre-match material this week, our expectation was that Raheem would be involved in this weekend's fixture in some capacity. As a camp, we have always had positive dialogue with and assurance from Chelsea in relation to his future at the club. So we look forward to gaining clarity on the situation. Until then, we will continue to support Raheem's desire to start the new season positively. And you know what? I've got a few thoughts on this. I have a few thoughts on this. and they might be contrary to what you think. What the hell is Raheem Sterling's camp? I mean, this sort of thing infuriates the shit out of me as a football fan. This is exactly what we have with Man United, where you've got players who aren't players. They are individual entities. I mean, that just is the problem with football. Raheem Sterling's camp. What's Raheem Sterling's camp? You're paid to be part of Chelsea Football Club. You don't need a camp. The only camp you've got is Chelsea's. What's your bloody camp all about? Your crew. You know, your team. Your team's Chelsea. So straight away, I think that's misguided. You're good. Yeah. You know, look, no one's going to argue that Chelsea treat their players well. But you've just gone and ruined it by coming out with your own. Yeah, this is the problem. Football fans just want players that play for the badge. They don't want players who are their own brand as well. And what about you've got 3 years left on your contract? You don't have to leave. What about 3 years left on your contract? He's probably on 200 grand a week. Raheem, you've got the power, mate. You've got the power. Not everything's easy in life, but you've got the power. If they want to sell you, who's going to buy you? Just stay there. Keep working hard. You'll win in the end. He's just disappointed he's not in the squad. But you look at that squad and you go, well, bloody hell. Mudrik's on a 20-year contract. Madueke's on a 20-year contract. And Neto's just been bought. It's not a shock that Raheem Sterling's not in the team. Work for your place. You're on a massive contract. You've got the power. Don't put statements out about camps. The new Chelsea shirt is minging, says Raz. And do you agree Sterling has been England's most important player in the last 6 years? Of course he's fallen off, but he carried us through a lot of tournaments. I'm not actually a massive fan of him as a player, to be honest. But you're right. At Man City, at Liverpool, and for England at a certain period, he was quite consistent. And I thought he started the season off very well for Chelsea last year, but something's just not right, is it? Something's not right. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea to me looking like a team that's starting again. And you know, it must be, it's a bit like snakes and ladders for Chelsea, isn't it? You get towards the end and you land on the biggest snake and it's back to the start again. We've seen this movie before, haven't we? Every year, it seems, Chelsea is starting a new project. And, to be fair, it's not Maresca's fault. He's coming in as a new coach, and they look like a team that's got to get used to themselves again. Man City, as I said, continuity. They know what they're all about. And, look, I've seen this at United for years. United can have the best players in the world, but if they can't play together, you'll have someone like Crystal Palace turn up and play off the park at Old Trafford. Won't be as good at players, but they've got a system that they know, and that's going to be the problem for Chelsea today. You're playing against the best team in the league who also have a system that they know. And at the moment, Chelsea just look a bit incoherent. And here's Haaland. And that's 1-0. Piece of piss. It's so easy. That is crap defending by Chelsea. Absolutely crap defending by Chelsea. There's at least 2 tackles that could go in there. It's like taking candy from a baby. And there you go. Easy. Too bloody easy. That is shocking. That is shocking by Chelsea. Really bad defending. I mean, watch this back. The cross comes in. It's Doku. Across the ground. Cucurella's got to be stronger there. That is crap. Crap defending from Chelsea, that. I mean, Cucurella, what is he doing? There's 2 tackles that can go in there as well from Colwill and from Cucurella. Oh, they're checking for a potential VAR. Hold on. Bernardo Silva could be offside here. Hard to tell. There he is in the VAR room. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't look offside to me. I think he's onside. Anthony Taylor is the referee. Forgot about that. He'll be loving this. Get the cameras on me. Remember, it's in my contract. When it's VAR, get the cameras on me. Cucurella, too busy drinking Estrella, says Gazzy. King Charles is a Burnley fan. Yeah, he's onside. Bloody hell. King Charles is a Burnley fan. He's defo next manager, says Goldio. And that's what Cucurella gets, says Michael. Thank you. Why are they taking so long? It just said it was onside. Why did we know that was onside 10 seconds ago? Oh, it's so bloody predictable. I'm not even a Chelsea fan and I'm fuming about that. Crap defending from Chelsea. Oh, just unbelievable. If they're going to concede goals like that, they're in big trouble this season. I mean, that you don't concede goals like that. The pace of the pass into the box is not quick enough. And Haaland still has a lot to do to put that in the net. Keeper could do better. Cucurella could do better. Colwell could do better. 1-0 Man City. But they're dominating Chelsea anyway. Chelsea playing shite. Mascara out, says Belvinder. I think I need to stand up a bit. Cucurella's going to enjoy his post-match paella, says Stan. Biggest winners and losers so far in week 17, says Jonathan. Big win for Brentford without Ivan Toney. Remember, Ivan Toney didn't play. Big win for United, you know. Fulham. Sort of where we're at the moment. Brighton, great result for them. I don't think there's any big loser from this weekend. I mean, you know, Everton were shocking, but we'd sort of expect that. Here's Man City on the attack again. De Bruyne. Oh, fucking hell, nearly 2. Dino says, will the media do the same to Maresca like us? Look, you look at that Chelsea side. I mean, it's just crap. There's 4 players near him and no one's putting a tackle in. It's like they're still on the beach, Chelsea. I mean, this is daunting for the rest of the Premier League if Man City are going to find it this easy without half their team. Derek says Chelsea need new players and they'll be fine. Well, I don't know what they're at here. Chelsea, Cucurella chant coming back to bite him, says Alec. And Chelsea look like the same for the past 3 years. No striker, awful backline and a horrible keeper. It's amazing, HPN. It's amazing how Chelsea can buy so many players and still not buy one of the best strikers in the world. You know, I just don't get it. I don't get that mentality of you win games with goals. If you're going to spend money, go and buy a striker. And they still haven't done it. They've spent a lot of money on defenders, actually, and I still look at that team and think Thiago Silva was their best centre-back, and he's gone now. As for goalkeepers, I thought Sanchez was quite good at Brighton, but he wouldn't have been the goalkeeper I would have picked. No, you're right. No system for Chelsea. Well, I'm just trying to understand what it is here. I mean, you've got Colwell with the ball. Cucurella. Everyone seems to be running away from the ball. They're passing it around the back. And to be fair, there's not really any options. Now it's with the goalkeeper. Oh my God, this is scary stuff. Chelsea trying to play out from the back. They've done all right, to be fair. Fofana. But, well, I say they've done all right. They've pretty much ended up back where they were. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everyone for tuning in. On the road to 1.25 million. Lots of watch-alongs on the channel and topical news. Don't forget, tomorrow lunchtime at midday, we're live from the Goldbridge Arms for our Premier League review show. So make sure you join in for that. Lots to talk about. I've got lots of VAR stuff to moan about. And Chelsea give up possession again. Agree with it or not, I don't think it's bad defending from Chelsea. It's just the absolute brilliance from Man City that can make any Premier League teams look shambolic. Abraham, I think you're talking absolute arse, mate. If you think that that goal by Man City was absolute brilliance, I've got no words. The pass into the box that Silva inadvertently gets into Haaland is, look, there's no pace on the pass, and Chelsea's anticipation is that of a dead squirrel. And Cucurella and Colwill both get a chance to clear it. Neither of them do. So that's not brilliance. It's just crap defending. I state my point. Is anyone even having Chelsea players in their FPL, says Lee? I've never considered a Chelsea player. And I suppose Cole Palmer. Ollie Holden says Chelsea should have kept Poch. Of course they should have done. Of course they should have done. Continuity. They'd be a better team today with Poch than they are with Maresca because they're starting again. They actually finished the season off quite well with Pochettino. They'd have some momentum. Lee says, stay calm and be positive, Mark. Chelsea is only $1 billion away from not getting relegated. Good evening, sir. Love the channel, says Pig. I mean, Chelsea just do not look a threat. For a home side, after 26 minutes, they just don't look a threat, do they? And this is a Man City side that is away from home, first game of the season, with no Rodri, no Foden, no Kyle Walker. And it's easy. Terrible tempo from Chelsea. I mean, somebody said to me that Maresca's game, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I can't watch everything. Maresca at Leicester was all about possession with no end product. Well, they've had 51% possession, no shots on target in the first 26 minutes. I nearly jinxed them then. I thought they were going to get a chance. Need to switch the play there. "115 players versus 115 charges," says the Crash. Here's Nkunku. Gusto needs to keep that in. Back post. Favourite pot noodle, says Ahoy. I haven't had a pot noodle in years. Do they even still do them? They surely do. I used to love pot noodles. I used to have a pot noodle with a slice of bread to dip in it. And I think I liked the beef tomato one. Used to have loads of flavours when I was young. Platonic says Maresca will be gone before Christmas. Who would you take from Chelsea to Manchester United, says Turner? I mean, there's loads of players I'd take individualistically. Chelsea's problem is not the players they've got; it's the fluidity. They've got good players. I mean, I like Gusto at right back. I do like Colwill. Fofana, when he was at Leicester, looked quite good. Lavia looked good at Southampton. Casido at Brighton looked good. Enzo Fernandez looked like a good player as well. You know, you can't argue that Nkunku looked good at Leipzig. Cole Palmer's a good player as well. I mean, that's most of their team. Most of the team on the pitch is good. But getting it together, very, very difficult. The quality of strikers in the Premier League has declined, says Godwin. Imagine years ago we had Rooney and Drogba, and now we've got a tall man that has Lukaku touches. Well, that's Chelsea's fault. That's Chelsea's fault. Constantine says, good evening, Mark. What are your thoughts on Ipswich staying up? They are a proud club with a lot of history. Unfortunately, being proud with a lot of history will not keep you up. What will keep you up is points. It's really difficult. I've got Ipswich going down with Leicester and Southampton. I think, again, it's another failure of the Premier League that they've created a monster where, good teams can get promoted, but they just can't deal with it. You've got to hit 35 points. I mean, Brentford, a lot of people are saying Brentford are going down. They've just won against Palace at home. And Palace are a good side. So if Ipswich want to stay up, that's what you've got to do. You've got to be able to mix it up week in, week out and pick up points when people don't expect you to. Now, I thought Ipswich were good for 45 minutes. Well organised defensively as well. But you've got to do it for 90 minutes. Today, Brentford go 1-0 up. Palace get back level, they still find a winner. So it's that Premier League know-how that makes it very difficult for Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton, because how do you learn the know-how if you're going to go straight back down? And teams like Brentford and Forest and Everton and any other team you think might be in a relegation battle, they've got the know-how. Neville saying fans and players need to get used to Maresca's play style, so it's not going to change. So why is it different from Ten Hag? Says BCJ. Am I right? Am I right in saying that Maresca's play style? Because I didn't watch Leicester last year. Come on. Am I right in saying that Maresca's play style is slow possession with not a lot of output? Is that a fair assessment? Because that's what they're playing like here. Lots of possession without really going anywhere. And if that's the case, why the fuck did they get rid of Poch? I mean, I don't think there's a Premier League fan in the world that's going to go, oh yeah, sack Pochettino and sign me up for loads of possession without any entertainment. Because that, to me, sounds like exactly what I want to spend my weekend watching for the next 9 months. I just love possession with no end product. It's basically like being flirted with and not getting anything out of it. I love it. I just love the flirtatious temptation of knowing nothing's going to happen at the end. It's like someone saying it's fish and chips for dinner, and then they go to the chip shop, they open it up, they put it in front of your nose, let you have a good old smell, and then drive away. Chelsea have spent nearly 180 million on goalkeepers in 6 years, says Smelt. That was a foul on Enzo there, on the edge of the box. Just looking back at it. That was a foul, but... Okay, let's have a look what people are saying. Mark, will you shout out... Oh, sorry. Raheem Sterling's camp will never have released statement under Pep, says Tim. Chelsea have spent nearly £180 million on goalkeepers in 6 years, says Smelts. That's terrible, isn't it? That is really terrible. Done that one as well. Paul Murphy says, will you shout out the boys en route home from Rick, the slick man Brennan stag do in Lisbon? Day 3 on the beers. Shout out Rick and the lads. Hope you've had a good time. Sounds great. Lisbon's a lovely city. Stay safe. Safe travels back. Paul, Rick and the gang. Kovacic with the shot. Good block. Oh, Jackson's going to be a million miles offside here. Surely he's going to be a million miles offside. Shoot, you twat! Oh, my God. What is he on? He's on drugs. Why? He had 3 chances to shoot. And then he takes a shot when it's not on. What a pillock. Oh my God, Chelsea. Get a better striker, for God's sake. He had 3 chances to shoot, and he waited. Watch this back. I think he was offside. I mean, the linesman's very slow on this. He is offside. He is offside. But watch him as he cuts inside here. Oh, they're not going to show it back. He had so much space to shoot. It wouldn't have counted because it was offside, but... If I was the ref and Pep put his arm around me, I'd say, take your fucking hand off me. I don't care how many Premier League titles you are. I'm the official. Show me some fucking respect and take my hand off me. What's your favourite Premier League referee? That's like saying, you know, what's my favourite One Direction song? Mark, do you think it was a penalty? I only glimpsed it in real time, and I think he's fouled him. So if it's in the box, it should have been a penalty. But I don't know whether it was in the box. But he's come in from behind, and he's knocked his balance from behind. It's a foul. Anywhere else on the pitch, that's normally a foul, isn't it? So, I mean, bloody hell, if it was a penalty for West Ham last night, it was 100% a penalty. I've upset some One Direction fans in the chat. Each to their own. So glad United didn't spend that amount of money on Enzo. I've seen nothing great for him. He's overhyped, says Sean Atwood. Fantastic save by Sanchez there. I don't know how Chelsea have gone from winning a free kick to conceding a shot in 2 seconds. Oh yeah, misplaced pass. Good shot by Doku. And it's a corner. It deflected, actually, to be fair. Enzo's getting a lot of stick in the chat. Actually, it's a straightforward save, that. I'd have made that. Corner to Man City. Palmer's ghosting, says M1. They all are, mate. I mean, this is going to be the problem for Chelsea if the system is like this. I don't think they've had hardly any chances at all. Cole Palmer's lost the ball there. He's won it back. And that's a hospital pass if ever I saw one. Dangerous. Oh, God, I tell you what, this is poor from Chelsea. Really poor. Says, thing that hurt most about the Community Shield loss is that City at least look like how they have gears to go up. Do the others? There's Bernardo Silva. Cucurella's got it. Casido. Chelsea. I mean, they've had more possession than Man City. Just don't know what they're doing with it. Here's Cole Palmer down the right-hand side. It's not a bad cross to Nkunku. He's got to score. Lay it off. Oh, fucking hell. Enzo shoots it into a player, but... lovely ball by Cole Palmer here, though. Look. Nkunku pulls off the back post. I don't think it's the best layoff by... Mark, I haven't heard the discussion, but should United buy Sander Berge and Gutierrez or Agate and stopgap left back? Well, that's Robble. That's not reality. You're just making up quite a difficult hypothetical, and I'm not going to get involved in that because that's not what's on the cards. Sander Berge and Gutierrez or Agate and a backup left back isn't on the cards, so there's no logic to that. We should buy Agate because that's the player that Ineos want. It could be 2-0 here. Doku should have played in. Haaland, a little bit greedy, but they're still here anyway. Bernardo Silva. Saved with the feet by Sanchez. Still active. Doku. Kovacic. De Bruyne is down. He played an advantage, actually. They put the ball out. Palmer's wasted it. Chelsea, says Joe Exotic. Well, there's a couple of fouls here because I think Savio... Oh, no, that's into Doku. That's a bad pass by Doku. He should have got Haaland in quicker. Yeah, it's late on Haaland. It's late on De Bruyne, but Silva still got the shot off. Yeah, it's probably a yellow card for me, that, by Casido. He's very late. De Bruyne's all right. I don't know what's wrong with Savio. I didn't see what happened to Savio, but this... don't look good, bruv. No, he's done. He's done. He's got his shirt over his head. Could be a bad knee injury. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. New signing for Man City. I don't know what happened to him. That's the Haaland goal. Terrible defending by Chelsea. Rubbish defending. Even the way Haaland finishes it, he doesn't put much power on it. Yeah, it's just bad. Bad. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way, to see what happens with these injuries. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Savino is what they call him, isn't he? But I think he gets called Savio. I'm getting told off now. It's Savino, not Savio. Yeah, but I've heard people, when I said Savino, people were saying he gets called Savio. So is it tomato, Savino, Savio? What is it? Arshak, thank you very much for your super chat. Have you hurt your back, Mark? No. I like to stand up. I like to do a bit of standing up. Otherwise, you sat down for 2.5 hours. Savio on FIFA, says James. It's both. Looks like he's going to be all right. Did you have a Sunday roast? I did, actually. I don't always have a Sunday roast. I had pork loin, red cabbage, roast potatoes, carrots, broccoli tender stem, gravy, and I think that was it. Oh, bit of mustard, yeah. It was very nice. Michael says his name is Savio, but his kit has Savino for luck. There we go. Juicy says I'm going to unfollow because you had red cabbage. I love red cabbage. Love it. Gotta have. I don't have it very often, but it's very nice with pork, and it's very nice on a Christmas dinner. Love it. Right, we're approaching half time here. Chelsea been absolute shite. Let's call a spade a spade. They've been rubbish. They've had no shots on target in 45 minutes. Go wide, Nkunku. Here's Cole Palmer. This could be their first shot on target. There you go. Oh! It's 1-1! He's offside. He's bloody offside again, isn't he? He's born offside. They'd be better off with Michael Jackson up front. They really would. How's he put himself in an offside position when Cole Palmer's taking a shot? Oh, man. I'm not even a Chelsea fan, and this guy's a pillock. How's he got offside? How has he got offside from a Cole Palmer shot? You absolute pillock. He is. He's a prat. He's an absolute prat. That's just basics. Absolute basics. It's the first rule of being a fucking striker. If someone's going to take a shot, don't be offside. Because you're going to follow it in. He's offside. I don't need VAR on that. Oh, that is Pillockville. That is absolute Pillockville. I can't speak. I mean, we're not here to teach people how to play football, but if you are a striker and someone's going to take a shot, don't be offside because you're going to follow it in. If a cross is coming in, I understand you might think about moving a bit quick because you might be offside. If there's a ball going over the top, you might be offside. But if someone's taking a shot, fucking hell, make sure you're onside. Oh. Graham Souness says, I hate Paula Pogba. Lavia looks exceptional, very tenacious, says Zeno. I don't think any Chelsea player looks exceptional, mate, really. Rocco says, pickled or non-pickled red cabbage, Mark? I don't have it pickled. It's like warm. When City get relegated at Christmas for cheating, will Chelsea get these 3 points back, says Spencer? 5 minutes added on. It's Anthony Taylor, though, isn't it? He'll be adding, you know, it's the Anthony Taylor show. He'll add on as long as he can. I mean, 5 minutes added on. Don't know why. VAR on the goal. Why are we getting 5 minutes? Good point. Got no idea. White Hammer says, I thought we were having semi-auto offside. Yeah, not till after the international break for some reason. We're not ready for the start of the season with that. Gaz H is having crispy duck pancakes tonight. Sounds lovely, mate. It really does. Kovacic there. I think that was a fair tackle on Nkunku. I've got to say, Maresca doesn't look like a coach that's going to be there for long. He's not giving me vibes of authority, or it just I don't know. It's unfair to judge someone like that because someone might say the same about Ten Hag, and I don't like that sort of thing. So maybe I'm being a bit unfair there, but it looks like a lost cause before it's even started. Five minutes added on. I don't know where they get it from. I don't know where they get it from. Here we go. Enzo, terrible touch. He's in. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. Oh, for God's sake. You are in. You are in big trouble here. That's a penalty. How is that not a penalty and yet Matty Cash was? Takes him down with the hand. Takes him down with his hand. I mean, that's incredible. Look, can I just say, I don't think that's a penalty, but how can it not be a penalty when Matty Cash was? It's mad. I mean, that's more of one. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say because it wasn't a penalty by Matty Cash last night, but that's more of a penalty because Diaz doesn't win the ball and his hand takes Enzo down. It's not worth the blood pressure. Anyway, we need to remember that Anthony Taylor won't give anything to Chelsea unless it's Stonewall. I mean, I don't understand how Chelsea have to have Anthony Taylor as their referee. I mean, there's a rich tapestry of issues with Anthony Taylor in Chelsea. And Nkunku's in. I think he's offside. Bad decision. That's a penalty. Oh! Oh! That one looked like a penalty to me. Why are they not appealing it? That one looked like a penalty. I don't think it was, because then Nkunku didn't seem to go for it. I thought that was. I don't know why Chelsea aren't appealing it. Need to see it again. We do need to see it again. I think that I always look at the defender and Lewis just ain't anywhere near the ball. I think it might be a dive because there's no reaction from anyone there. It's got to be a dive. It has to be a dive. There's literally no reaction to it from anyone from Chelsea. Lewis Warrior says, nice to see VAR has improved. Well, we'll have to wait for that replay. Unless I rewind. Might rewind it myself. Be quicker. But look, honestly, Man City have had pretty much total control of this game. And Chelsea have been very, 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 very disappointing. Let's be very, very clear on that. For a home team in their first game of the season with the quality of players that they've got, really poor. I'm just going to have a look at this now. Take me back. Let's have a go. Here he is. And Nkunku into the box. Takes the shot. Comes back to him. I don't know. I'd need to see that again. Look, I can't see from here, but Kovacic leaves a foot in. And Lewis leaves a foot in. So I want to see that again at half time. I don't know how anyone can say that's a dive off the TV screen is what I'm saying. If you're on the pitch, you might see it as a dive, but I don't know how you're saying that's a dive off one view. You must have bloody X-ray vision. I need to see it again. That looks like a penalty to me. I don't know why everyone's saying it's not a penalty, because I don't know how you can tell there's no contact from a camera that's 50 metres away. Looks like a penalty to me, that. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I just think, make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. But look at that from Chelsea. One shot on target, and it was a Cole Palmer tester from the edge of the box about 5 minutes before the end of the half. A lot of people said to me that Maresca is not a very interesting coach in the sense that it's all possession and not a lot of end product. They are playing the best team in the league, of course, so you're not going to create as many chances as you might do against someone like Southampton. But yeah, they look like a bunch of players learning another system again, and that's the problem. I feel like Chelsea are the sort of, you know, if you're talking about Chelsea as a football club in an analogy sense, it's a little bit like your parents moving to France. You just start to learn French, and then you've been there a month, and they go, we're leaving, we're off to Spain. And you get to Spain, you're just starting to learn that, you're off to China. You know, they never settle on one thing for the players to learn. They're always learning a new language, and I think that's very evident, because Chelsea have got so many good players, but they never look like they know what they're doing. And until they actually settle on something and stick with it, I don't think they ever will. Unfortunately, I think they should have stuck with Pochettino, and now they're going with a guy that I just don't have a good feeling about, really. I don't have a good feeling about his style of football. And when you manage a Manchester City or a Man United or a Liverpool or an Arsenal or a Chelsea, you have to play a certain brand of football because you need the fans on side. And if he's going to play like that, you know, I know it's early days, but if he's going to play like that, he's going to struggle. I'm a Chelsea fan. There was no penalty, says Kian. I need to see that one on Nkunku again, because the way Nkunku reacts, I think he might have dived. But everyone's saying a dive. How the hell can you tell it's a dive when Kovacic goes in to tackle him and misses, and Lewis tries to tackle him and misses, and we're watching it from 50 metres away? How do you know there's no contact there? That's what I want to know. Are you just going off the reaction of Nkunku, which, to be honest, looked like he didn't really want to appeal for it? Yeah, I need to see it again. Close call, Mark. Difficult to judge, says Jonathan Francis. VAR is a scam, says Nicholas Lawler. Shadow lines drawn on the penalty area were not parallel to the goal line. Nicholas Jackson's one done correctly. It's a scam. New season, same tiers, says Kevin De Bruyne. Maresca needs to sub in Enzo. He's way off the pace, says Rub. Nice to see VAR has improved. Man City deserve to be in front. There's no doubt about that. The goal was an absolute shambles from Chelsea defensively. But Man City have definitely been the better side. And considering they don't have Rodri, Kyle Walker, John Stones or Foden, it's a missed opportunity for Chelsea. I mean, I suppose they're only saving graces. Things can only get better in the second half. But yeah, I mean, look, we watched West Ham against Villa last night. That's never a penalty by Matty Cash. So you can probably, as a Chelsea fan, have a look at both those fouls on Enzo and Nkunku, and if there's any semblance of contact, you should be getting a penalty, because that's what we saw last night. But it's that inconsistency again, isn't it? We do need to see the replays. But Anthony Taylor should not be refereeing Chelsea games. Even I know that. Like, he has got a rich history of not giving Chelsea decisions. So, I mean, I literally turned off the FA Cup final as a watch-along a few years ago against Arsenal, because it was one of the worst refereeing appointments I've ever seen. Chelsea with a better team, says Raz. God, there's bad takes and there's that. Wolf Wall says, we don't want to see it again. Angry emoji. It was no penalty. End of message. Mate, Toxic Sunday's taking you down, isn't it? Like the Titanic. Enzo only plays good when he sees Messi on the pitch, says Fries. Anthony Taylor's got it all right, says Pedro. Not normally words you see in the sentence, but there you go. Consistency is the problem. Anthony Taylor shouldn't be in the league. Mate, consistency is the problem. We all know that. I'm not watching the Haaland goal again. They're just showing that, but I'll cut to it when they do. I mean, look, possession-wise, Chelsea have had 54%. They've had more possession than Man City. That doesn't happen very often. So, on the one hand, you've got a Chelsea team with possession. On the other hand, they've done next to nothing with it. Next to nothing with it. One shot on target, and that was one from the edge of the box. Chelsea need a striker. You should be printing T-shirts. Been saying this for 2.5 years. How do you spend over $1 billion and not buy a fucking striker? I mean, as a look, at Man United, we've had our problems. We need a 6. We need a centre-back. You know, we need a backup striker. But you've got to be pulling your hair out at Chelsea about the striker situation. I mean, look, maybe Nicholas Jackson isn't as bad as he seems. For me, he's badder than Michael Jackson, and he was bad. But he did an album about how bad he was. And yet, and I think that bad album from Michael Jackson was a platinum seller. Well, I tell you what, if Nicholas Jackson released an album with bad on it, it would outsell him. Because getting yourself offside from somebody else's shot is incredible. But whether he's good, decent, average or shit, he ain't world class, and Chelsea should have a world class striker. And the fact that they haven't spent money on a world class striker, to me, is incredible, because there are world class strikers out there. You've got to go and get a striker like that, because Nicholas Jackson, whether you deserve it or not, has just cost you an equaliser because he can't play football. He's not intelligent. He's got no IQ. He'll score goals for you, and Chelsea fans will tell you Nicholas Jackson's a good player because he scores a goal. Because Chelsea put him in positions where he can score. And, you know, he's obviously got some sort of ability, but he ain't got any football IQ. He's got no football IQ at all. To not be able to stay on side when someone else is having a shot, and you know they're having a shot. It's not like you've got to move because they're putting a cross in. You know Cole Palmer's going to have a shot. You train with him every bloody day for the last year. He's on the edge of the box. He can't put a cross in because he's on his left foot centrally. He's going to shoot. Your only job is make sure you're on, take a step back to take a step forward. You know, it's as simple as that. And the fact that he can't figure that out is incredible. They've not shown us the bloody Nkunku thing on Sky. You pay all this money, you turn it on on a Monday and you see a bunch of prats in white trainers and bloody skinny jeans, and then the only reason I've got Sky is for Premier League coverage, and they don't even show us either of the potential penalty decisions. Dear me. Savino has been so smooth on the wing. He's going to cause a lot of other teams problems. He's a good signing, Sean. A very good season with Girona. It's another good signing, isn't it? Jimmy says, it was funny at first seeing Jackson being so unbelievably bad, but now it's just infuriating. I think Xerxes would have fit them like a glove. Do you rate João Gomez? Spurs are bidding for him. Is that the Wolves player? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. 58 Go says, bar Kroenke, which took him a while, there's been no good American owner in the Premier League. Yeah, and he wasn't good at one time, was he? It didn't start well. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Do you think Chelsea can make any difference from the bench? We're only 100 subscribers away from 243,000, by the way, so please do get involved. We are doing Leicester against Chelsea tomorrow. Leicester against Spurs tomorrow. God, we don't want to see Chelsea play 2 games in 2 days. They've got no energy for game 1, let alone 2. I do think that Chelsea have got good options from the bench. Your biggest problem really is your players don't understand what they're doing with the system that the manager is trying to implement. So bringing a player on from the bench might change it for you, but I don't think it's massively the issue at the moment. I think the issue is that you don't really seem to have any coherent plan from back to front. What's your opinion on Leicester possibly facing a 2-point deduction, says Rage. I mean, 2 points isn't a lot, but 2 points in the Premier League when you're Leicester, you've got to get... If Leicester want to stay up, they've got to get 35 points. They've now got to get 37. So people say 2 points isn't a lot, but when it's like, what's 2 points out of 35? It's about 6% of the points you're going to get, isn't it? So it can be massive. How have we spent £100 million on goalkeepers and 40 million on strikers, says Dom. How much have you spent on midfielders? This game is 115 charges versus 115 players, says John. Cameron says Petrovic is better than Sanchez. And Pure says Man United are 7th in the league. I mean, who looks at the league table after game 1? There's got to be a word for it. I wouldn't say nonce. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But if you're looking at the Premier League table after 1 game, you've got problems, really. It's not 2 points. It's 2 separate deductions, says Thomas. Oh, well, they're fucked. I mean, Leicester. I think Leicester with 2 points deducted will struggle. If they get more than that, they're going straight back down. 2 charges, says Rage Pink. Yeah. Man United forward should learn from Haaland's finish, says Rami. Oh my God. I know it's Sunday. Did you not watch Xerxes' finish against Fulham? What's wrong with that finish? Delicate, hardly any power in it, right in the bottom corner. Yeah, I think we all know Erling Haaland's the best striker in the world, but what you coming at United's finishing for? It was a brilliant finish. Liverpool are buying the keeper from Georgia, says Ajit. Marmaduke, yeah, or whatever his name is, looks a good keeper. Would you do call-ins on the podcast, says Dino? No, I've sort of had enough of call-ins, to be honest. I don't do that anymore. Reminds me of a load of shit. Hi, Mark. How are the book sales going, says Chris. Very good. Very good. Thanks, everyone who's been supporting the book. Absolute legends. Appreciate that. The trouble with call-ins are, they are very good in a certain way if you get the right callers. But 85% of them are, yeah, a certain type of people call in. Let's just put it that way. Ty got the book a few days ago. Thank you very much. Who scored, says Jonathan? Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland. Right, we're back now. Are they going to show us any of the penalty incidents? No, they're going to show us women's cricket. Brilliant. That's exactly what I pay Sky for. Yeah, well, I want to see some penalty incidents as I'm watching women's cricket. Yeah. Thanks, Sky. You know what you're doing. Thanks for that. I really wanted to watch a bit of women's cricket instead of seeing whether it was a penalty to Chelsea or not. Thanks for that. No, and they're going to show us the Erling Haaland goal again. Yeah, brilliant. Give this producer an Oscar. Because I tell you what, it's back and it's shite. Bloody hell. I mean, I don't think people understand how much... And that's it. Advert again. So they came back to show us a bit of women's cricket and a Haaland goal we've seen about 20 times. I don't think people realise in the UK, we don't even get every game. If you're in America or India or Australia, you get every single Premier League game. We don't. We have to pay for TNT and Sky. We probably pay more than you do just to Sky, and you get everything. They don't even show us what happened in the game. They don't even show us what happened in the game. Fucking absolute joke. Anyway, Phil Foden's on for Savino. Let me get this timer going. I mean, are we part of a conspiracy or not? Are we now just actually living in a world where they're feeding us what they want to feed us? I mean, we're not even allowed to discuss potential contentious issues anymore. We're just being fed a script. Look, honestly, the way Nkunku went down, it probably wasn't a penalty, but I'd like to make the decision with my own eyes. I don't think anybody should have to live a life where a dictator tells you what you can and can't do on an opinion. I would love to see it again. We didn't get shown it again. You know, at the very basic level, it's just crap producing because you are not in tune with your viewer. Even Man City fans would love to see that again so they can go, it was a clear dive. You know, everybody wants to see it again. Hi, Mark. If you could buy any striker for Chelsea, who would you buy? Bradley, there are so many strikers you could buy, and it's not Omaridian. Osman. Tony. You should have gone in for Solanke. Gyökeres. You know, I'm not saying they'd all be a success, but there are strikers you can go and get. It's not a bad market for strikers. I mean, I don't know what the issue is with Ivan Toney, but I think he's exactly the right sort of player. The thing about Ivan Toney is he doesn't suit United. Oh my God, this Sanchez is crap as well. The thing about Ivan Toney is he probably doesn't suit United because we've got Højlund and Xerxes, and I don't think there's a place for him to start every week. But at Chelsea, it would take him as long as it took to, you know, basically tell Ivan Toney to move out of his place in the dressing room to take his shirt. Dominant says Jackson's got better attributes than finishing, yet still was one of the top goal scorers last year. More, there we go. I love all this. More goals than Højlund, Garnacho, Nunez for 30 million. He ain't better than Nunez, he ain't better than Højlund, and he ain't better than Garnacho. He's fucking shit, mate. The fact that Chelsea create chances for him to score, well done. He scored a few goals. The guy's IQ as a footballer is dreadful. If you as a Chelsea fan want to back him, well done for blindly backing a player that wears a Chelsea shirt. But if you want to stick with him up front, I think the rest of the top four will rest easy. Take it on board as the constructive criticism it is, or don't. I truly don't care. You know, you can listen to the advice or you can ignore it. It's your club. But mate, he's crap. He's crap. He will score your goals, but he ain't going to learn IQ, is he? And I don't care whether you think he's better than Højlund or Xerxes or Nunez. He plays up front for Chelsea and he ain't good enough. And I hope to God he scores 2 goals and wins you this game. But you should be 1-1 and you're not 1-1 because the guy can't stay on side. I'm from LA. I pay 3 different subscriptions. And just to watch Premier League games, it's ridiculous. They should combine them. They would make more and keep fans happy, says yet another pod. I didn't know they did that in the States. I thought you just got one. Mark, I'm about to start uni. Any advice, says the Don. Enjoy it. Because when you start work, that's it forever. Hamad says, watch out for Leicester. They're bagging Champions League. Mate, it'd be a great story if you did. You've had your fantasy. You're not going to get that again. Dylan says, what Premier League referees do you rate? I don't rate any of them, mate. I think they're all part of the same issue. They're all part of the mates rates club and they're all inconsistent. They're all part of the problem in my mind. Vinny says, stop being negative, Mark. It's not negative, mate. It's just you don't agree with my opinion. Negativity is not... Grow up. Someone's not negative because they have a different opinion to you. Let's hope Chelsea can get back into this game because it is only 1. And they can't be any bloody worse. Foden came on for Sabinho. And Mark, in India, we pay roughly £23 to watch all Champions League, Europa, FA and Premier League games, plus £130 for yearly internet. I feel bad for you. Mate, that is incredible. £23 and you get all the Premier League games and Europe. We pay less, we pay more than that for Sky, and we only get 2 games a week. And we don't get European football. You've got to get that with TNT. Mad. Black Wolf says, I'm from the States as well. We need Hula live if we don't have cable, Peacock, Paramount and Fubo. It's crazy to watch the Premier League. Bernardo Silva, Haaland. Good save. That could have been the game. 2-0. Could have been. Sanchez saved it. I think Haaland could have hit it better. And I think he knows he could. I don't know whether we've got any Spanish people in here, but I think even... I can't remember who it is in Spain. I think in Italy, I think in France, you just play for like, I don't know who it is, maybe Canal Plus, all the Premier League games. I think in Canada, DAZN, all the Premier League games, all La Liga games for one subscription. But what makes me laugh is it doesn't work the other way. We don't pay like a £5 a month to watch every NFL game. You can't watch every NFL game. I think you get it on Sky again. Can you not use SuperSport South Africa with a VPN? It will be a lot cheaper and has got all sport. Lots of love, says Quiz. Well, yeah, people do that, and honestly, you can't blame them, can you? Daniel says TNT is $25 per month. Yeah, again, two games a week, and you get the European football on there. Franklin says, what's your opinion on Jackson? I can't really do it again. It would be bullying. I think he's a low IQ striker. I mean, look, I think Lukaku is a low IQ striker, but he's still a good striker, and I think Lukaku is better than Jackson. In fact, let's do a poll. That's a good poll. Either or. Jackson, Lukaku. Now, considering Chelsea could bring Lukaku back and have never wanted to, you could arguably say Jackson's the better player. Australia, all games for £12 a month. It is disgusting, Jordan. It is disgusting. You know, somebody should do something about it, really. Ben, dodgy fire sticks for life. And Madeline says, Mark, I'm from Colorado. We pay $100 a month for Fubo to get all Premier League games, then also pay Paramount plus Peacock. So in America, it sounds like you're getting done as well. But at least in the States, you can pay to watch every game. I don't think everybody understands. In the UK, which is where Chelsea and Man City play, in the UK, you could pay £1 million for multiple Sky subscriptions and you still wouldn't get, you can't watch every game in the UK. There is no way, legally, you can watch every Premier League game in the UK. You step foot outside the UK, fill your boots. It's a crazy rule. It's absolutely crazy. It's interesting what people pay, but the fact that we can't, there is no way that we legitimately can watch our league is stunning. There is no price, there is no legitimate price to pay. You can't do it. I'm having a drink tonight. I was going to have a night off. I'm definitely having a drink. Objectivity, is Chelsea or United in a better spot, says LA Channel. I love this question. You know what? Objectively, Chelsea's squad shits all over Man United. It's an amazing squad with an array of talent. I would say Chelsea's squad is probably better than Arsenal's, if we're talking about that. Certainly better than Spurs. Certainly better than Newcastle. Certainly better than Aston Villa. Probably better than Liverpool. It's an incredible squad of players. Are they in a better position than Man United just because they've got a better squad? No. Are they in a better position than Spurs because they've got a better squad? No. Are they in a better position than Villa because they've got a better squad? No. Chelsea's biggest problem is how they've been run over the last 2.5 years. There is no stability and there is no continuity. Now, if they can solve that, nobody's going to sit there and say they don't have an amazing set of players, but they don't have a structure that's consistent or safe. So they're not in a better position than Man United because Man United have brought in a lot of interesting people who seem to be saying the right things, whereas Chelsea, I don't know what your vision is. Also, Chelsea haven't bought a striker. And I've been saying this for 2 years now on this channel. And if you bought Osimhen, I'd look at you in a different way. Remember, I did a video a few weeks ago. I thought you were getting Osimhen, and I said, finally, I think Chelsea might do something. And someone might say, oh, hold on a minute, though. They've bought loads of players and nothing's changed. I don't think people understand. If you've got Alexander Isak up front or Ollie Watkins up front, then you're going to be in and around the top 6 every year because they're going to score you a lot of goals. And Chelsea need that. You put Victor Osimhen in your team or Ivan Toney in your team, you suddenly got a striker with a bit of IQ. Michael says, can you believe Sky Sports is £22 on a 2-year contract? If not, it's 38. It's awful. Cheaper for me to go and watch the game at Old Trafford, says Michael. Maxence, thank you very much. Colin says, I use Peacock for 90% of the Premier League and the in-laws USA Network account for streaming channel for the rest. I know a lot of people that want to leave the UK for a lot of reasons. I might leave the UK just so I can watch all the Premier League games legit. How do I think Ipswich will do against City next week? If they don't get beat by more than 3, it'll be a great result. We're talking real, aren't we? Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. There is a show on the United Stand at 8 o'clock tonight. Very interesting show. Substitution here. Neto. That is Neto, isn't it? I can't get used to him not in an orange top. Or gold. I like Neto. I need a way to watch all the Premier League EFL games in Texas. I think the Championship would be super fun to watch and follow. Still haven't picked an EFL team, says Colin. I don't know. I mean, do get involved with the EFL in America. I've got Charlton as my League One team, 2 out of 2. I've never thought about that. I don't know how you watch the Championship and everything else in other countries. It's on Paramount Plus, apparently, says the Gator. Mark, same rules in America. They have blackouts for games based on locations. A Yankees fan can't watch a game if they live in local areas. It's ridiculous, Paul, isn't it? It is ridiculous. It really is. I want to leave the UK so I can live in a country with a competitive league, says Robbo96. I think he's took Cole Palmer off, hasn't he? Or is it Nkunku? No, Cole Palmer's still on and Nkunku's gone off. I mean, this will be another problem that Maresca's got. Too many good players. You know, he's got Madueke and he's got Mudryk. But Neto as well. Like, they've just got so many good players. Come on, Chelsea. Here's Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez! Oh, what a cross. Well done. On the back post, Lewis, corner. To add a bit more, EPL is in Disney Plus and Europe and FA in Sony. So we've got all the TV shows and movies. We get panels and the commentary you get, says Anish. What needs to happen is one of these countries, and I don't care if it's Sweden, India, Australia, America, whatever. Whoever's got Premier League rights, let me present them. Then everybody wins. And then we'll still stream it on YouTube. Corner comes in. Cleared away. Start, bench, sell. Watkins, Havertz, Højlund. Well, start Watkins. Bench Højlund. Sell Havertz. Oh, here we go. Doku. Oh, he's just not looked there. Bad cross. Power Clippy says Blackburn are better than Burnley. I think that's a bit of a local thing. Well, it's Neto up against Lewis. So, no Kyle Walker today. Lewis, obviously, saw him a bit last season. Young player coming through. He's now up against Neto. I wonder if Pep might see that and bring Walker on. Should mention it's almost 3 a.m. in Australia. Not many people want to stay up all night to watch, so it's going to be cheaper. Still ridiculous, though, says Jordan. Never thought of it like that, actually. Mika says, in Sweden, we have Swedish League plus Women's, all European Cups, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Championship, Premier League, Formula One, Olympics, all top 5 leagues and more under one subscription. I'd love that. Here's Neto. Nice little dinky cross. Oh, it's still in the box. Come on, Chelsea. He's offside again. And he's missed anyway. No, he wasn't offside. What a miss by Jackson. But remember, he's quality. He's a quality player. He's just missed from 3 yards out and injured himself. Yeah. What a player. Offside for somebody else's shot and now injures himself on a sitter. I can see what Chelsea fans mean when they defend him. I mean, how's he not scored there? Imagine Saudi funded that kind of watch-along, says Dino. Oh, yeah. This game is taking the piss out of great opening weekends. Need the 115 gone, says Jordan. Eric says, in Finland, we pay £38 a month for all Premier League and Europa. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, it's expensive compared to some places, but that's not bad for everything. Well done. Oh, Neto on the back post, but he ain't going to get that. Mark, did you watch the UFC? No. I just can't commit to it, Dewald. Well, hopefully Chelsea are going to get a goal here. I mean, I'm not totally confident, but they are a little bit better than the second half. There's Neto. Well, he's given him a little bit, Neto. Giving them a little bit of an impetus. Still half an hour to go. Hopefully Man City will sit back. But if they get the second goal, it's over. Everything you need and more. In the UK, I'm spending £50 to access the Prem and another £30 for European football a month. What a lovely package, says the Inquisition. And Daniel says, good value to watch the Prem in Australia and you don't have Gary Neville and commentary. We also have got a bunch of cups and other leagues too, says Daniel. Oh dear. Oh, oh no, goal. No, foul. I don't know what he's doing. He's giving a foul. Get ready, Chelsea fans, because Anthony Taylor might turn this around. I don't know what's going on here. So Erling Haaland's in. Takes it down. Oh, yeah, Haaland fouls Colwell. I mean, to be honest, he probably should get booked for that. He could have had a red. I mean, I've seen Casemiro get a red for that, just because you get the ball. Curtis Jones, just because you get the ball. Is that not a red? He's booking him. I'll live with that. Look, we have seen reds for that. I don't agree with it being a red, but yeah, he should get a booking. Studs up, follows through. Yellow card. When you come to Texas for the World Cup, would you be interested in conversations with the American fans? I would, Colin, yeah. Definitely. Well, they haven't really shown much of a replay on this either. Jackson's off. Dewsbury Hall on. I forgot he even bought Dewsbury Hall. What's happened to Disarcy? Is he injured or just been binned off? Or have you sold him? Honestly, it's so hard with Chelsea to say about a player because you just don't know whether they might have sold him. Didn't see him on the bench, Disarcy. Is he injured? Not good enough anymore? Oh, he's injured. Okay. Could have sold him. In NL, All Premier League, Bundesliga, F1 for €16, says Barry. What's NL? I feel really thick. What's NL, Barry? Jackson says, Jackson's off. Feel bad for Chelsea fans that they had to watch 66 minutes of that. Okay. Lonan says, what happened with Talk Sport? What, with me? I did a bloody podcast on it. I didn't want to do it anymore, mate. And I'm so happy not to be doing it anymore. Yeah. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I felt like a hypocrite, really. So, and it was a massive waste of time. I mean, look, I was doing Talk Sport on a Saturday night with more than anybody else gets on YouTube on a Saturday night. I was getting like 4,000 people. I did the United stand at 8 o'clock last night and we had 18,000. I mean, it's just stupid. I don't know what I was doing, really. It made no sense. It made no sense financially. It made no sense growth. It made no sense quality of content. I mean, there was an advert every 10 minutes. I don't know. I just thought I had an idea of something and it just didn't work the way I wanted it to. And look, sometimes you try things and it doesn't work out, and I just didn't want to do a third year. £60 a year, I get it all. You know, says Matt. Is that... Matt, are you talking about subscriptions for football or are you talking about prostitution? Because that just sounded a little bit too £60 a year and I get it all. That just sounded a little bit sinister. Please clarify that you're talking about subscription. Why not use a VPN in the UK to watch all games, says United AV? Because it's illegal. When is the Europa League draw? End of the month, Martin. So I think it's on Friday the 30th. And it's the Netherlands, says Barry. Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. Howder says, I think you should move to Norway. If you pay £54, you can watch Premier League matches, Bundesliga Championship. Remember your warmest winter clothes. I like the idea of Norway, Howder, but I did say Solskjaer out, so maybe I'd get booed. Elliot says, I cancelled my subscriptions and I now just listen to you. Thanks for saving me $30 a month, says Elliot. Well, thanks for the super chat. That's $10. So you're $20 a month up. Thank you very much, Elliot. Appreciate that. 20 minutes to go here. I'd rather City win this 4-0 than lose and than win 1-0, if I'm being honest. This is just a very frustrating. Seed Boy says, real men listen to Goldbridge in the shower. Could you put United Stand on Spotify, says Paddy. Well, we could, but what episode would you put on Spotify? Like, we do 3 videos a day. Like, which one is the one that goes on Spotify? I don't think you can upload that regularly, can you? Maybe the morning show could go up on there. Don't forget, tomorrow lunchtime, 12 p.m, midday, we're live in the Goldbridge Arms. The Goldbridge Saves Football podcast, which is on Spotify to listen to, is now doing its Monday show live on YouTube as well. So we'll be talking about all the weekend controversy and positivity, negativity and thoughts. I'm sure VAR is going to feature. I've still not seen this Eze free kick, but I certainly saw the penalty that didn't matter in the end, but that Villa one was a joke. An absolute joke. And obviously we've not seen the Chelsea ones, so they can't have been penalties, but it would have been nice to see them. Chelsea on the attack here. Cucurella. No. Oh, it's got unstuck under Edison, but Doku should get rid of that. It's a mad statistic, says Luke Jones. Neville just said that 14% of the Chelsea stadium is filled by the squad and not paying fans. That's bullshit. That's a joke. That's just a bad joke, Luke. Like, Chelsea have a capacity of 34,000. 10% of it's 3,400. 3,400 people don't play for Chelsea. So it's a joke. It might just be the way he told it, Luke. TV, yes, sounds like you know a better subscription, says Matt. Colin, thanks for the membership. Mark, I've never seen you and Brad Pitt in the same room and it's beginning to scare me, says Tommy. I'm doing Spurs versus Leicester tomorrow, Max, yeah. I don't know whether I'd normally do Spurs against Leicester, actually. Later on in the season, I'd probably skip it, but I just want to see as many of the, teams play as quick as possible. And, Spurs... This happened with United last season. When you're the Monday night football game on the opening weekend, you almost feel like you're not part of it. So no one's really spoken about Spurs, have they? Because they're not playing till tomorrow. But, Spurs will be looking at Newcastle winning, Villa winning, Man United winning, Liverpool winning, Arsenal winning, and already knowing, they need to win. Here's De Bruyne. Shoots wide. Next weekend, by the way, obviously it's Leicester against Tottenham tomorrow night. There's no midweek games, obviously. It's weekends only in the first incarnation of the August Premier League. Obviously, all the European games start in September. Next weekend, Brighton against Man United at 12:30 on a Saturday. Villa Arsenal at 5:30 on Saturday as well. So a good couple of games there. Man City play Ipswich at 3:00 on Saturday. Spurs play Everton at 3:00 on Saturday. And on Sunday, you've got Liverpool-Brentford, which is the 4:30 game. Cut that back. Oh, good tackle there. I think that was Colwill. And and Newcastle go to Bournemouth, Chelsea go to Wolves. So could be a difficult game for Chelsea next week against Wolves. They need to get something out of this. Erroless says that Wolves will trash Chelsea. I think it'll be a difficult game for them. Chelsea are playing midweek, says David. Who against? Surely not. Oh, don't tell me. I think they might. I think I know. I think I know what you're talking about. Oh my God. Are they playing midweek? They're playing Serviette on Thursday night in the Conference League. Oh my God. That is that I'm so glad we won that FA Cup. Actually, if we didn't win the FA Cup, we wouldn't have been in Europe at all, would we? That would have been Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle, there are positives not being in the Europa League. Who's Servette? They've got to be Swiss. No, that's a women's team. They're not playing a women's team. I've just typed in Servette and it's come up with a women's team. No, they are Swiss. They're not women. Founded in 1890. Currently 5th in the Swiss league. I mean, it should be quite straightforward for Chelsea, but you don't want to be playing that, do you? You don't want to be playing in a bloody Thursday night game ahead of Wolves. Good thing is Chelsea have got a massive squad, so they can probably pick a completely different team. Have you noticed that United don't have a 3 PM game till October, says Niki, but this is great because that means that we're actually, we're actually on the telly until October. Clutch says, would you take Salah at United? The player, yes. One of the best right wingers in the world, yes. The Liverpool player, I think it would be impossible. Robert says, I've been a Liverpool fan since '94, always hated United, but you single-handedly make United more likeable. Well done, Mark. Got some extra words left. Says Robert Carlson. I'm not going to read that bit, but thank you very much for the message. Eric says it's even worse. It's a home and away game, so they play the following Thursday away as well. Come on, here's Palmer. Into Gusto. He's got to cut it back. Ah, oh, crap, cross. Wins a corner. Keenan wants a handball. Well, we won't get a replay. Chelsea players have gone around him. Okay. Handball. That's a handball. His hand's well out. Oh, come on. That's a blatant handball. Come on. I mean, Chelsea. That is terrible. That is terrible, isn't it, really? His hand's out like that. Natural arm. What's the rule on handballs then? Like, another season starts and it's going to be the same as last season. Can somebody just come out and talk to fans and tell us why that's not a handball then? Because sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I mean, didn't he give one of those in the Euros as well? Or was it Oliver? I think there's nothing's changing with VAR, is it? Like we've had a horrific weekend with VAR, and it's the opening weekend. They've done nothing. What's Howard Webb done on this summer with all his referees? Took them to bloody Disneyland. They've not done anything. They've done nothing to change the issues of last season, and we've already learnt that in one weekend. That's a handball in the Euros, but it's not a handball here. That's not a natural arm position. by the way. If someone's saying it's naturally, you know, his arm's in an unnatural position, I understand that there's not a lot of distance, but... Oh, dear, dear. Rules have changed, making the handball law more lenient, says Alex. When did they get published then? What the hell is happening, says Bark. I was impressed with Lavia this game, says Jack. Thank you, Jack. EPL needs a new champion so bad, so predictable, says Joe. Yeah, I'm not having that for me. I mean, I'll do a poll on that. Should it have been a penalty? Lukaku's better than Jackson, by the way, 72% to 28%. Cucurella is down injured here. Let me just run a poll on this. Was it a penalty? Yes or no? I think it's a penalty because the cross is stopped from going into a dangerous area. His arm is out. It's not natural to go in like that. You know, natural to me is when your hands are like this. They're not out like that. So I'm not having the natural arm. It stops across. Let me have a look if I can find anything. Right, there is an article here. What's new with VAR? Let's start with a small law change. It will now be a yellow card for denying an obvious goal opportunity through handball. On other handballs, referee Howard Webb accepts there were instances last season where players were penalised even when their hand or arm was in a justifiable position for the action being undertaken and wants that to stop. Other mitigating factors that referees will have been instructed to consider this season on possible handball are players' proximity to the ball. If the arm is being used to support the body while falling, or a player deflecting or playing the ball onto their own arm where there is clear change of trajectory onto the ball. So it sounds to me like they'll cover themselves by saying that it was an instance where the hand or arm was in a justifiable position for the action being undertaken. So what they're saying on that is that Kovacic has his arm in a justifiable position, which I disagree with. I don't think his arm is in a justifiable position. It might be natural to him, but that the onus has to be on attacking football, not sticking up for a player who's got his arm out. His arm's out. It's a penalty. He's stopping an attacking option by having his arm out, whether that's natural or not. CJZ says it isn't a penalty because it came back to him fast. Yeah, funnily enough, that's not in the rules, mate. It doesn't actually say it won't be a penalty if it comes back to him fast. Unlucky. Foden hasn't done much, says Dan. I haven't noticed Phil Foden a lot, actually. Did come on at half-time. 10 minutes to go here. Anyone else, and that's a penalty, says Xander. It would have been a penalty for Man City, let's put it that way. Robert McCormack says they changed the rule that won't get done now. Well, I've just read the rule out, Robert, and I don't know what the change is. What he says is there was a lot of penalties given last year where players had their hands in a natural position, and they want to stop all that. But that's not a natural position to have your arm out like that. That's not natural. Might be natural to Kovacic, but it's not a natural, fair position to put your arm out, stopping across. But again, it comes down to consistency and interpretation. All I'm saying is that type of penalty will be given this season. Probably in the next 2 weeks. But Anthony Taylor and Chelsea should not be refereeing games. It's whether he's got everything right or he's got everything wrong. He's got a horrible history against Chelsea and he just shouldn't be refereeing Chelsea games. Connor says, PGML, let's be as vague as possible so we can justify every mistake. Exactly. If you make your wording very broad, you can throw any mistake in there and swallow it up. You know what? Fair play to City, though. They're going to win this game through a goal that never should have gone because Chelsea's defence was shit. This should have been a 0-0 draw. It should have been a 0-0 draw, but Chelsea's shit defending is going to give the juggernaut another 3 points. You know what it comes down to? What a goal. Oh, God, that keeper's crap. That Chelsea keeper is fucking rubbish. And it's Kovacic against his old club. He's absolute shite. How the hell has he let that go in? Unless I'm about to see a worldie, which it didn't look like, how the hell has that gone in? I don't know how that's even gone in. And you know what, Chelsea fans? Kovacic scoring the goal. Kovacic with the handball. Kovacic scores the goal. No, he's got a hand on that. That is absolutely terrible goalkeeping. He's got a full hand on this. Watch this. Here we go. Kovacic. Oh, that's awful. That's awful goalkeeping. He's got a hand on that. Got to save it. He's got to save it. It's a good hit by Kovacic, but he's got to get it. If you get a hand that big on it, you've got to be saving it. Dennis says you missed the fine print. If the suspect player team name contains the word City or Madrid, they can play volleyball in the box if they like. This is Dennis. Liam says, I think it was a penalty, but I don't think it was about arm position as you think it is. I think it was more about distance to the ball. And basically, Howard says, give the benefit of a doubt. That was from Liam. And Thomas says, basically, Howard says, give the benefit of the doubt. Clown. Let me just type this. Yeah, I just wanted to finish that because I was just typing about the Kovacic goal. Yeah, I think what we've got here is, unfortunately, trying to put this in a way that's fair. Very excited about the start to the Premier League season, as I'm sure many of you were. But I know there's still a game to come with Spurs, but I'd say, do you come out of this Premier League weekend buzzing your tits off with excitement? Or do you look at it and go, nothing's changed. It's the same as it was last year. We've got, you know, a team that's very clearly hot favourites again. We've got officiating and VAR, which is just not fit for purpose again. I mean, very interesting to see how long Anthony Taylor adds on, because if he adds over 6 minutes, we've got stupid minutes added on again as well. But just feels a little bit disappointing, doesn't it? That I mean, Chelsea. I don't think Man City have even been that good. The word I'd use is experienced, know-how. I mean, Chelsea will get better, of course they will, but for The only thing I can think about this game from a Chelsea point of view is that fine margins, defensive error on both goals. Sanchez can do better on both goals. The first goal, they should have defended it better as well. And then offensive error. If Nicholas Jackson knew how to play up front, he'd have put that rebound in and been onside. But yeah, it feels like more of the same, doesn't it? More bad officiating. Man City just in cruise control. Yeah. Arturo says, remember Wolves made proposals to get rid of VAR. Oh, I've got no... You make a great point, Arturo. All 19 clubs voted to keep VAR. I don't want to hear any manager of any club apart from Wolves coming out and moaning about VAR this season. They had the chance. They didn't do it. Fans wanted it switched off. No one listens to the fans. So it's very important to remember that. Arturo makes a great point. I've got no sympathy with Arteta, Ten Hag, any other manager. Look at this defending again from Chelsea. Well, I tell you what, Chelsea Wolves next week. Well, Chelsea need to turn up there. But it's mad, isn't it? It's mad with Chelsea. I mean, they have got problems, of course, but at both ends of the pitch, arguably two of the most important areas on a football pitch: the guy who puts the goal in the net, and the guy who stops the goal going in the net. Both those goals, certainly the second one, I think the first one as well, should not be goals. A better goalkeeper stops it. And then at the other end, Nicholas Jackson getting caught offside when he should be onside. Now, you only need Sanchez to save one of those and Jackson to score that, and you've got a point. And Chelsea have spent so much money and haven't bothered to get a decent goalkeeper and a decent striker in. And you can have as many good defenders and midfielders and number 10s as you like, but they just haven't bothered to bring in a world-class striker or a world-class goalkeeper. And they've had the money to do it. What's Man City's next few fixtures? Well, it's worrying, really. It's worrying. They've got... This was their hardest game, really, for a while. So they've got Ipswich at home, West Ham away, and then Brentford at home. And then their next hardest game is actually Arsenal on the 22nd of September. So I think by the time they play Arsenal, they'll have maximum points. Ipswich at home next, West Ham away, and then Brentford at home. Ace says, what's your thoughts on Doku? I think Doku's a good player. His end product, he reminds me a lot of St. Maximin at Newcastle. Where I don't think he knows what he's doing. An amazingly talented player, but I don't really think he knows what he's doing a lot of the time. Black Sheep says, the way Gary Neville bums licks City on commentary is sickening. Well, the way he speaks about Man United was sickening on Friday night as well. John says, there's nothing bad about the officiating, Mark. Do not be bitter. Mate, you've just opened yourself up to get absolutely trolled, John. You know, stick your nose in a beehive, you're going to get stung. I'll leave the chat with you. It's deja vu like Beyonce and Jay-Z, says Say. Thanks for all the super chats today, by the way. Absolute legends. Only 5 minutes added on. That's a positive. The only thing that's going to stop Man City... 115. 105. 115. General thoughts on Chelsea. well, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt in the sense that I could say the same about West Ham yesterday. West Ham were disappointing yesterday, but we know they've made a lot of signings and they've got a new manager. It's the same situation with Chelsea. Lots of signings and another new manager. Things can get better. They've just lost 2-0 to the best team in the league. So they've got every right to just put it down to that and move forward. But they look like a team that's subdued before the season's even really got going. I mean, you look at the way Ipswich played against Liverpool in that first 45 minutes yesterday. Enthusiastic, hungry, ambitious, aggressive. And you look at Chelsea, the way they played in the first 45 minutes against City. Submissive, uninspiring. I don't get that. It's your first game of the season with a new manager, with some new players at Stamford Bridge. You know, you think you'd be getting into them, and they just didn't. Oakley says, new season, same mistakes for Chelsea. It's almost like they should have bought a keeper and striker like us fans have been begging them to for 3 years. It's incredible, Oakley. It's incredible. It really is. Enzo Fernandez, straight at the keeper. Don't forget tomorrow, but I mean, I'm on the United Stand at 8 o'clock tonight. Make sure you tune in for that. But don't forget tomorrow, 12 o'clock, our new Premier League preview, our new Premier League review show will be live tomorrow from the Goldbridge Arms on this channel. So make sure you subscribe, get your notifications on for that. I know some of you might be at work, etc. But pop out, put it on your headphones, get involved. Love to see what your thoughts are on some of the incidents this weekend. And a lot of what I want to talk about as well is just the Premier League in general. We've been waiting for this. We've been excited about this. Where's your excitement now? You know, was it a good opening weekend? Is it more of the same? Has there been any real change from VAR? I'm not happy with Howard Webb at all. I just, you know, everyone has a new kit at the start of the season. We have a new ball. We have new hopes. We have new signings. And for some reason, Howard Webb thinks the PGMOL, after the shittest season on history, should just wander into a new season with the same old problems. Like, I don't know what this guy is doing. Like, it's so easy to solve the issues with VAR with consistency. And we just had another weekend of inconsistency. I mean, we had a penalty last night that was never a penalty. And then today, we had 2 or 3 that were more of a penalty, and they're not given. So in the same weekend, again, you're getting decisions in one game and decisions in another. And all we want as fans is consistency. If that's a penalty, that's a penalty. If that's a handball, that's a handball. Like, just be consistent. And already, we're not getting that again, are we? Oh, well. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you smash a like on the video. I will see you at 8 o'clock on the United Stand and obviously tomorrow midday. And we've also got Spurs against Leicester tomorrow night as well. Take care, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining as usual. Really enjoyed that. And I'll speak to you all in a bit.